Well, good morning. You're watching Morning at NTV, a question of service delivery and accountability, transparency. That's what we've been discussing this entire morning. That's a conversation we can't exhaust because we always have to hold accountable our leaders and the people who talk to us. Anyone in the service sector needs to be, held accountable. There needs to be transparency. And I thought, what about the role of customer care? Because I've always said, even if you have the best products out there, even if you have the best, I don't know what else in your company, and you do not have that great interface with your clients or customers, then there's a problem. And that doesn't have to be a smile. You could have also the best smile, but how you deliver that service also has issues. So, and also, are people able to reach you? Are people able to complain and you hear them? Some people have a suggestion box that is just that, a box. But in studios, joining me to unpack this from Standard Chartered Bank is the branch manager, Winnie Ojambo Nawire. Good morning, Winnie.
Good morning, Flavia.
Yes, you are smiling as if you're not unhappy about the taxes that all of us are complaining about.
No.
You're compliant.
I'm compliant right now.
We all are. Let me tell you, before we get into all of this, many were saying that everybody's going to run back to the bank. Nobody ran away from the bank.
Okay.
I guess it was just that the numbers found it easier to operate, mobile.
Correct.
Than actually walk into a bank and make clients. I occasionally go back.
Correct.
Because certain transactions cannot be done on the phone. But are you seeing this in the banking halls? Are people running away and coming back?
There's been quite a lot of emphasis from most of the banking industry, most of the banks, to try and create convenience for clients. And as such, there's been a lot of emphasis for us to push our clients onto the mobile banking platforms, online, to try and create convenience.
Yes.
The impact of the tax, bring the client back. Of course, the client is welcome.
Yes.
But definitely, that means that for us in the banking sector, we then have to find a way to serve our clients better.
Yes.
So definitely, that is going to put us back onto the drawing board to ensure that we serve our clients better.
So I said, come in, let's talk, because your background is actually customer care or service delivery, as you called it.
Yes.
And I was here telling people how you can have the best product, even if at Standard Chartered Bank, and you can't deliver it if the first face who meets me does not make it easy for me to access.
Rightfully stated, Flavia.
Yes.
When a client wants to come to the banking hall, it is important that the very first person that they are going to meet when they come to the bank is friendly and willing to serve them.
Yes.
And that means right from the person in the parking lot.
I was about to say, where does customer care start? Does customer care only start with the receptionist or the person at the front desk?
No, not at all. It starts from the parking if the client has come through with a car. So the guard at the parking, the guard at the entrance of the banking hall is also critical in ensuring that the client experience is excellent right from the very start. And then, of course, all the client touch point that the client is going to walk to. The customer service desk, the teller, even the cleaner.
Yes, so just like any organization, we're trying to put this generally, that no matter where you're operating, every single person who works with you is involved in this. Tell me the importance, especially in service delivery when we're talking customer care, the importance of training the people who work with you to know about the brand or the product. Because I'm saying this because sometimes I was saying that you call, for example, a customer care line of any organization and you ask a very genuine question because you're interfacing with the product. And they say, I don't know. You hold on, I ask someone. And I'm thinking, should that point of contact not have certain information? What's the value even in training the cleaner to know about the brand, or is there no value?
There is value in training the cleaner to treat the client right, especially when they meet them within the banking hall. And if a client is lost,
you should know at least where they're going.
Direct? You may not know what the client has come to do, but they found you in the banking hall. So what do you do to them?
Yes.
Do you direct them where they're supposed to go? So it's important for you to know that. And probably also speak in a friendly manner and be welcoming as well. So that's very critical. But picking from the very first question that you have asked, product knowledge is very key in ensuring that the client that we are dealing with obtains all the information that they need. if I'm seated at the client service desk, I need to know most of the information that the client needs to have.
Okay.
I may not know everything.
Is it like a basic
Information? I may not know everything that the client needs, but it's important for me to know where to direct the client in case they need that information. However, it's important that you try and know as much as you can to ensure that the client, you provide a one-stop center for the client.
Yes.
To stop referring all the time, so that the client does not have to meet so many people.
Or hold for so long and wait for the next 10 people to answer that.
Ideally, yes.
The customer care or service delivery doesn't have to be in one facet. It can't just be the smile. What is involved in service delivery when it comes to customer care?
The tone in which you speak to the client is critical, because you'd like this client to refer his colleagues, refer the people that within their network, refer them to you. So yes. The tone with which you're going to speak to them is very, very critical.
Is that not dependent on how the customer also treats you? If I come in yelling, Winnie, are you going to be nice? You're supposed to be.
You are supposed to be nice. You're supposed to be nice. And essentially what that means is that if I yelled at you and I was the first client at your desk, the next client should not feel like the very first one was an inconvenience to you, essentially. Yeah. So you need to be able to treat the very first client different from the next client.
Okay.
If the first one was rude, it doesn't mean that the second one is also going to be rude. So you need to be able to distinguish and separate and treat the clients differently. Okay,
so you said tone.
Yeah, tone is one. The other one is the attitude with which you're going to start your day. So critical to note for us is that while we emphasize that every staff member should have the right attitude to come to work and ensure that the client is served, is that you can't essentially be able to
know who comes to you?
To know who comes to you at all times. So ensure that you have the right attitude to serve the client from when you open their doors to when you close them. One of the things that I have learned along the way is that a client that walks to you today, it's not a guarantee that the client who walks to you today is going to come back tomorrow.
That's true.
So it is important that you thank them. Be grateful that they have come.
Okay. How many of you are grateful to your clients or customers when they come to you? But yes.
Be very grateful that they have come.
Yeah.
Thank them for coming and look forward to seeing them again. Yes.
All right. So you have to have a good attitude towards whoever is coming into your door.
Correct.
Now you're saying whoever, so I need to ask this, and this is key in customer care and also service delivery, but it's a good thing Winnie her service delivery is in banking, because they're the ones who do this the most, where they choose the VIPs and depending on how you're transacting, right? So this also happens in different places. Certain clients, even to a boutique, something as small as that, they might have a client who buys every weekend.
Yes.
So they feel that client is more important than Flavia, who has walked in today. They're not even sure if Flavia will buy. You understand? So is there a need to give maybe not better service delivery, but different service delivery to certain people because of certain factors? Is that okay? And how do you then distinguish that the other person who's not getting this VIP treatment is still at the bare minimum, treated well? And what is the value there in differentiating people from the others?
All right. In a banking industry, we are governed by Bank of Uganda. And what our regulator tells us is that anybody that works within the banking premises, whether they have an account with you or not, is a client. Okay. So it's important they are actually treated as a client. Yeah. Where it comes for us to distinguish our service is essentially because you have identified the need of the client. You have also been able to, you've had a relationship with this client for a very, very long time. So you know the client end to end and you know what they need to do with you. So you're able to distinguish the kind of service that they would want. Certain clients take a bit of time and want to transact longer.
Okay.
There are those that want to transact for a very, very short time. So you need to be able to distinguish and identify which client. So it's very key at the point of first interaction with the client. You're able to identify what their needs are and how do you then serve them better.
Okay. So
essentially, for us in the banking industry, it's a skill that you have to develop over time.
Yes.
It's a skill you have to develop over time. It's a relationship. You have to grow the relationship. Yeah, you may not know all the information at the very first step, but over time you get to know the client and you're able to serve them better. So, but it's about developing a relationship with the client, understanding their needs, and being able to serve them.
Okay, so when you say customer care, is creating a relationship with your client also
Correct.
one of the keys?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's talk about, not per se a crisis, but something we hinted on earlier.
Yes.
You have a client who comes in, you have a good attitude, you've come to work, you have
Yes.
a good tone, all the things you've told us in customer care, and then the client is raging. They've brought all their problems from home, they've brought them to you at client service. So is there a need for you as a customer care or someone in service delivery to have crisis management skills? I'm not sure it will be as bad as to be termed a crisis, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
When you can never know what's going to hit you or how raging this person is or how they're going to recommend your bad service, quote unquote, to the next person. Is there a need to have those skills just to be able to handle certain issues a certain way?
Now, for those of us that are in the service industry, over time we have also learned that clients use a lot of social media to either promote you
or break you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a very bad incident within the banking hall or within your premises, and in a few minutes it's actually on social media. So that should actually worry you. Now, anybody in service should know that from 9 in the morning when you come to office to 6 p.m., not every client will be very good.
Yes.
And not every client will smile at you.
That's
a number of clients will be very unhappy. So it's important for you to develop a skill to be able to calm them down and serve them probably in an area or serve them outside the main banking hall so that you're able to try and calm them down. Yeah, you really have to find a way.
You have to find a way.
You have to find a way.
Because we're going to be checking in with Andrew Chamagaru, who's still on the ground. But as we wind up this particular, you working in the service delivery sector, you've been in for what?
11 years
11
now.
years.
Yes.
As a decade plus. I mean, what would you say, especially the case of Uganda, is our biggest challenge in service delivery?
Yes. Our biggest challenge is in service delivery. We haven't mastered the art to serve our clients very well. I think one of the things that we haven't done very well, even from the taxi conductor or from the taxi driver, is that when you have a client with you, it's important that you treat this client very well.
The taxi conductor treats you well before he gets you into the taxi. And I think it happens in most places.
Yes, once you're already in.
Customer care is there before I get you.
Yes.
When I get you.
Yes.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. And it's important for us to take care of the people that we already have, because it costs you less to take care of the clients that you already have on your book, already have with you, than it does to look for new ones.
New ones, that's true.
Because ordinarily the person that you already have, if they are treated very well, will refer their family and friends, will refer their network basically, and you're able to reduce on your costs in advertising.
So is it that we don't see the value in treating clients well, or we're looking at the value of what we could potentially get versus treating? Why is there a challenge there? Is it because Ugandans don't see the value in treating you right? They see the value in treating your money right.
Yes. Yes, they don't see the value in treating me right. Yes.
So, but should I separate the two? Should I separate your Winnie's money from Winnie?
No.
Really?
No. You shouldn't.
Because sometimes, someone is willing to buy, but they don't necessarily want to keep a relationship. with, say, the bank? You know, they walk in once in a while. When they transact, they don't really want the niceties or the pleasures or the pleasantries.
They might not be able to create the relationship now.
Yes.
But over time, they will create it.
Okay, so it's still key.
It's still key.
Okay.
It's still key.
Just as we wind up, I mean, what are you seeing, especially in the banking sector, because that's where you work?
Yes.
What are the biggest, not questions per se, but what are the biggest issues that maybe the clients might be having with the banking? Is it they don't understand the products that are given to them? Is it you understand, like, what is the biggest challenge you're seeing with people?
The biggest challenge that I'm seeing with the client on the other side is I think a number of clients find banking a bit expensive.
Charges.
Yeah, charges.
Oof, oof, oof.
Yeah,
I was complaining the other day that I am going to feel the pinch of mobile money, but I'm really going to feel the pinch of banking, because some of us who had not moved all our transactions to the mobile money.
Yeah.
We're still being pinched in banking, but it's getting worse. If you feel you're being pinched in mobile money, even us, we're still in the banking side, we're still getting pinched.
Yes.
But that's something you can't really change. It's your regulator, really. It's not something you can actually work on. But
no, but you see, the client needs to see the value in the charge. Yeah, if I'm being charged 10,000 shillings on a monthly basis, I need to see the value.
Yes.
I need to find. I don't have to spend more than 10 minutes in the banking hall if that's your service service standard. I need to find staff members that are willing to serve me. If I'm trying to get hold of you on phone, please be available at all times. On social media, please make information available for me at all times when I need it.
Yes.
And be able to at least satisfy the basic needs that I need, that I have.
You've made a very valid point, because today we're talking about service delivery, and we're saying that even if it's government, even if it's whoever, we don't mind paying to you if we can see the value.
Correct.
And you've really said that, absolutely. It's important that whoever they meet in your premises, even if it's not just the banking sector, that you have good customer care. Make sure people have all the information they need and serve them within time and give them their money's worth. Yes. We're going to check back with Andrew Tamago. Thank you so much, Winnie Ojambo, branch manager from Standard Chartered Bank. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning, Flavia, and good morning, Marla. I'm here with the Honorable Chagulanyi, the Ghetto Gladiator. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, bro. How have you been, Andrew?